In this video, we are looking at some advanced uses of can and could. Let's begin with a picture and an example before our first use. So here I'm going to show you outlines of two countries. I wonder if you can guess where they are. So the first one, what is it? The first one is Italy. And the second one is, can you guess? Yes, it's Thailand. And the example here is to do with travel. And maybe you know someone who says this about their holidays last year. I could have visited Italy last year, but I went to Thailand instead. Let's focus on this phrase, could have. What do we mean by could have? Well, could have is for past possibility. This is something that was possible in the past, but it didn't happen. I could have, but no, it didn't. The form here is very simply could have followed by the past participle. Could have here is followed by the past participle visited. So could have is used for past possibility where something didn't happen. Let's look at some more uses of can and could that are more advanced now. Here's a picture of someone knocking at a door. Has this ever happened to you? I knocked on the door, but there was no answer. Where are they? Have you ever thought that question when you knock on the door? I'm sure it's happened to all of us. We go to someone's house, we knock on the door or we ring the doorbell, no answer, and we're left thinking, what's happening? And then you start thinking of the possibilities. Maybe you think this. They can't be inside because they would open the door if they were inside. Or maybe this. They could be going to the park. Two different possibilities here, and this is what we call logical deduction. Logical deduction is when we imagine how a situation is based on the evidence, but it's not something we are 100% certain about because we can't see it or feel it or touch it. We have to come up with our own ideas about the situation. But there's a difference between can't be and could. And you cannot confuse the negatives with the positive form here, which is really important. First of all, can't be. Can't be means that something is not possible. They can't be inside. It's not possible that they're inside. And we think that because, well, it's not possible because they would have opened the door, surely. So I'm thinking they can't be inside. We say this when we think it's not possible. We're not 100% certain. We might be 99% certain. We leave that tiniest bit of doubt. But the best idea we can come up with is that it's not possible. So can't be, not possible. Could be, though, does mean possible. And that's the difference between the two here. We use could be to say there's a possibility, but can't be for something that's not possible. And they both refer to the future. Could be is possibility of something happening right now, where we're using logical deduction, where we're imagining a possibility. Can't be, we're imagining a possibility, but in this case, something that's not possible. The form is the same for both. Could be and can't be is then followed by a verb with the ing form, or it could be followed by an adverb phrase. So they can't be inside is the adverb phrase. They could be going to the park is the verb followed by ing, but the form follows the same pattern. But they're both for present logical deduction. You cannot use can for present logical deduction here, by the way. It has to be could. And the same way, couldn't would have a different meaning here too. Let's look at our final use of can't and couldn't, or can and could, and this time it's for logical deduction in the past. Let's look at the example. Again, we're thinking about this door being knocked, and this is the same question. I knocked on the door, but there was no answer. Where are they? And this time we're not thinking about the present situation. This time we're at the door, they haven't answered the door, and now we're thinking about perhaps something that happened in the past that affects now. Two possibilities here. They could have gone for a walk. Or maybe they couldn't have walked very far. They were here a minute ago. So what's the difference between could and couldn't here? Well, they're both to do with past possibility, but you have to be careful here because the negative is not quite the same in meaning as the positive. Let's first of all take the positive sentence. They could have gone for a walk. Well, this is simple past possibility. This is something possible in the past, and that explains the situation now that they didn't answer the door. Couldn't have, though, rather than meaning negative past possibility, it actually means past impossibility. They couldn't have walked very far. It's impossible that they walked very far. And this is the key meaning change. With could have, we're talking about logical deduction, which is possible. With couldn't have, there's a higher level of certainty that it's impossible. Because if something's impossible, it's certain. There's 100% certainty here that it's not possible. When something's possible, it's not 100% certain. It's somewhere between 0 and 100. So that's a key difference here. When you use the negative of could with have, couldn't have or could not have, we do mean certainty, not possibility, because it's impossible. And if something's impossible, it's certain. They couldn't have walked very far. So we'd say that when we're telling someone this is not the answer. We are certain that this is not the answer. A quick look at the form. Both forms are the same here, where we have could have followed, and this time it has to be followed by the past participle. So lots of uses of can and could there. We've looked at uses for possibility, where something didn't happen. We've looked at present logical deduction and past logical deduction. Be careful, take note of those small differences between the words in the different sections we've looked at.